But he's a little young for me. Just a little bit.
Hi, hello.
Good evening and Merry Christmas. It is 2 days after Christmas. It's December 27th. I had to think about it there for a minute. And we're here celebrating the holidays and having family. And you know it's a holiday if Raycurt Johnson Fiddla is in the house. And that's who we have for you tonight. He's going to bring us some of his amazing fiddling. This is the princess, the queen of my house. This is Princess Ella. And she's here with us tonight. She's going to do some singing, and her dad's going to do some beatboxing. We're just going to have a really great family time. So welcome to Grandma's Attic Music Review, and enjoy the show. It's going to be a fabulous evening of music. Raycurt, it's all yours.
Greetings.
You can relax now.
We'll have a few holiday classics. I was just in New York City for the annual Grand Central Station Holiday Festival, and it was amazing, playing beautiful music in the Grand Hall of Vanderbilt Hall, and here were a few of them.
one more, and then you can come talk to me? Or do you want to come talk to me first?
Okay,
It's up
play
to
one
you.
more. I can play
Okay,
one.
play one more. We love listening to you play.
Oh,
The princess is watching you play and loving it.
very
Huh.
good. That's good.
Is he playing well? He's a good player, isn't he? Watch him.
Merci, Ravel.
Awesome. Oh my goodness, that's such beautiful playing, Ray. Thank you
you.
so much for that. Now, let's talk a little bit about your, are you ready to talk to Ray? We can ask him some questions. You want to ask him some questions? What are we going to ask him? Should we ask him where he learned to play his music? Yeah. Where did you learn to play such beautiful music?
Well, I learned first and foremost from my church. Going to church, I learned singing in the choir and knowing all these wonderful music of praise. And then I went to a military school where,
Yeah, you
funny
in military school, I don't get it.
Yeah, well, that's what was there. And between the Catholic nuns and retired Marine people, teaching you military things. But then there was a Catholic nun who took me aside and put me in a room with a piano.
Uh-oh.
And so me and the piano became one in a week, and I was playing Mozart.
Wow.
So then, yes. So all of that singing and going to church, and eventually junior high school, I saw the first time a viola, which is an alto violin. And so I asked to take one home. Well, I wanted a violin, but they said, oh, they didn't have one on hand, so have a viola. So I took home the viola and started playing with the Beethoven records. All
Really? You just by ear?
Yeah, yeah.
Wonderful.
And it's great music, and so I learned how to play like that. And then eventually I saw the notes, and I said, oh yeah, that makes sense. And then that's how I learned how to read music. And then it just goes on, studying.
From there you went to Eastman.
Eastman School of Music, yeah. I studied voice and opera, and continued playing viola. And after that, I went traveling to California because Eastman was so cold, Rochester, New York.
Yeah.
Freezing. And so I decided I'd go to California to warm up.
Did it work?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, and then you went to Germany.
Well, yeah.
That's not warm.
No, but it was an offer I couldn't refuse.
Right.
It was, yeah, a big opportunity.
So you've had the opportunity to play some pretty big venues and some pretty important venues.
Yeah, you continue to play. I mean, the music is inspiration, and then the more you play, the more people want to hear you play, and you get invited here, and my thing was learning it after living in California, learning how to survive as a musician, and to learn how to feed yourself, and
Right.
and how to audiences, they like music, and they were willing to give you money for it.
That's a good thing.
That's a wonderful thing. So I learned that, but the motivation is always the music.
It really is.
And then learning to playing different venues where you have acoustical places outside, and that's what's interesting is I've become an expert in locating locations that are perfect to the sound. And so that enhances, then people can hear what the instrument and the music, and so it creates an ambiance, and so it makes an experience that they don't forget.
Right.
As how we met.
Well, I was just going to say, I was walking down Capitol Hill. What's the name of that street? Was that Pennsylvania? No, that's not Pennsylvania.
Well, that's off Capitol Hill, one of the side streets, 2nd Street.
Okay, I'm walking down from the Capitol building,
Right.
and I hear this music wafting up from somewhere, and I had my two...
Capitol South Metro
Right, I had my
Station.
2 grandsons and my husband at the time with me, and I said to them, I have to find this music. It's just what I do. And I'm going after it, and I'm hearing Vivaldi. You know, when you hear Vivaldi and you know that it's Vivaldi, you have to find it. So I get on this escalator, and I see this guy standing at the bottom of the escalator playing, and it's beautiful, and I'm weeping, and I'm standing there, my jaw is like this. That's a good picture, right? And I'm just looking at Raycurt, and he's seeing this big woman with this big mouth going, and there was just a connection, and I was like, I've got to have some of that music. And I brought it home, and I put it on the radio, and the rest is history. Now, you've been a very big part of what you just came from, which is the underground music in New York City.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that and how it started and what it has meant to street musicians since it started.
Well, yes. Upon taking the adventure decision to go to New York and helping, a friend move there, and then I was there, and then I started trying places to play out on the street. One place was Sheridan Square. And then with a music job, I met another violinist, Carlos Baptista, and so we decided to play duos there. And then we went up to Grand Central Station at the time, which was, just a station, and there was no problem. People just went there and started playing music. And we had a duet, and then we found a cellist, Melvin Greenwich. Then we had a string trio, then we had a string quartet, and we were playing Mozart and Beethoven quartets. People were stopping at rush hour. We would play from 4 o'clock. We wanted to leave. We'd say, oh, we'll play a couple hours. They wouldn't go away. We had crowds there playing Beethoven and Brahms. Our repertoire grew. We got to meet important people. We played for Mayor Koch at the time. We met people from the United Nations. I played for a lot of their affairs, and it just we got to play for Leontine Price, one of the renowned opera singers, for her farewell retirement concert at Carnegie Hall. So it just takes you places, and you just be prepared.
Now, what about this underground musicians thing? What is that, and how did that come to be?
Well, and so, after we were playing in Grand Central Station, and there were other people that would play in the other parts of the subway system.
Didn't it become kind of a problem?
Well, there were challenges because the police didn't know how to handle it, and there were never really complaints. But what's always the factor is when people see you making lots of money, that becomes a factor.
Right.
And so, in that instance, that they decided, they'll make it available, and there were no problems between the musicians and whose spot or where people were playing, but they wanted to regulate it, or maybe the businesses and commercial venues, and all of those legalese things. But so they established the Music Under New York program. That was like, 80 something. 80 something.
Right.
And we were one of the first groups. We auditioned and we played, and every year I enjoy playing in Grand Central Station and make sure that I get a permit for such an affair.
Yeah, and you're good at it too. Now, the same thing happened in Washington, D.C. There became kind of an issue with the musicians playing in the subway.
Yes.
And that wasn't that long ago. That was only a few years ago, right?
Yeah, and there still isn't a program per se.
But it's in the works.
Well,
is it?
It's always in the works, just to keep that carrot. But in perspective, it's like Washington, in effect. They're still waiting for home rule as a state.
Yeah.
So that's where we are, in limbo.
Yeah, well, Washington, D.C.
But people go out and we play, and we establish ourselves as street buskers.
Now, as buskers, you get seen, by playing in Washington, D.C., you get seen by some rather influential people. And you get asked by that to go and play for them. Is that right?
Yes.
Which has put you in places like, as you said, Carnegie Hall, but you get to play at the Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts.
Kennedy Center.
What a beautiful place.
Yes.
What's it like playing there?
Oh, well, any places that you make a name for yourself. Which is interesting, you play for embassies. Diplomatic circles, artistic ventures. We have a few local orchestras. I'm a part of the DC, Washington, D.C. Chamber Music. There are a couple societies. I've had the fortune with the National Gallery Art Orchestra, and that's a pretty tight group. Yeah. But I freelance, and then I'm always at my church, which is actually the best music I find,
Right.
because I'm raised on
And
it.
that's Shiloh, right?
Shiloh
And
Baptist.
Shiloh was the first black church established in America. Is that correct?
One of them. There were a few. I grew up in another church, which is just as old as Shiloh, Vermont Avenue Baptist
Yep.
Church, and that's what's incredible. Christian education, musical education.
And the history is
human-
so rich.
Yes, and the music, I mean, if you go there at any given service or even in the week prayer service, and
Yeah.
people are testimony and singing, it's rich. It's amazing.
It's
a whole culture.
I'll
you
never
know.
forget the first time that I was able to attend Shiloh. What a actually, that was the 40th.
49th, because they've already had the 150th.
Yep, it was a great service. It was just amazing. And it's so wonderful to be in DC where all that rich history is and where it's been kept, where they actually try to keep the history alive. So I want to have time to get you, and my son is actually here, and he does some beatboxing. And these two, you know, when it's Christmas and you have family in the house and they're musical. So I want to have time to get you guys to do that. But first, this is Raycurt's Christmas album. Can we get this? Where do you want me? Where do you want me? Right here? How's that? And you can go to www.raycurt.com and find all of Ray's music. He's also on YouTube.
Yes,
And-
iTunes.
And
there are a
iTunes,
few.
and he's got music, not just what you're hearing here, but you can get him playing jazz. You can get him playing just classical. This is called Organic Christmas, and it's got some of the things he played tonight: "Oh Holy Night," "Now Come Emmanuel," and there's a song called "Home."
Yes.
Maybe you'll play that later. He wrote that for his brother, and. Is this the one that has that woman singing on it?
Well, Christmas. Well,
Yeah.
that's she's singing "Oh Holy Night." Well,
Yeah.
it was recorded. We're playing. We're like on the street, and then
It's beautiful.
yeah, and the bells of the Salvation Army are going through there, ringing through it all the time. It's very funny.
It's not
very live.
It's very live and very beautiful. Now
Yeah.
you were also given the opportunity to play in front of or around the inauguration of our recent president right now. Weren't you? I mean, this was a few years ago, but
Yeah,
didn't you get to
sure.
play for his inauguration or
No.
out in the crowd?
No. Well,
Tell me, explain that, because there is a CD that has his picture on it.
Right. No, what the story you're thinking of is that I was living in Germany, and when Obama came to Berlin,
Oh, okay.
his big trip to Europe, pre-election.
Pre-election. That's what I knew he was in,
right.
in
He was a
office yet.
candidate, but we were at the Siegersäule Tiergarten, and a massive crowd, and we were in the trees taking pictures, and so yes, that became a part of the album cover because I had an original picture of Obama, and as prescribed, it's called The Movement.
Yeah.
And because that's what was happening for his election and
Yeah.
nomination. And great speech, and we mixed it in the speech.
Right.
His nomination speech as part of a rap song. It was very cool. So that's what that was. But yeah, I haven't been. A lot of people have played for him. They get to the White House is just down the street to me, but
Right.
you got to have a real big invitation.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing. So let's.
Yeah.
You started learning to play by ear a lot, but classical music.
Yeah.
Now you also play jazz, and you play a little bit of blues. I've watched you come on stage and do the blues. I know you can do that.
Yes.
You've played with some local artists. Let's see. You've played with the Meadows Brothers. You've played with Sue Menhart.
Yes.
You've played with Jake Kaiser. Let's see, who else? Dan Stevens.
Dan Stevens.
You've really made a name for yourself right here in the area. So,
I hope so.
Tonight, you actually played at the Nightingale before we did this show. So that was awesome. And we were going to have you here teaching, but now you're in DC and you're teaching, what, 28 students?
Yes.
That's a lot.
Well, they want to learn. They're inspired.
Now, would you rather be out there playing music or teaching music?
Well, you have to balance. Everything is a balance.
Okay. But which would you rather do?
I'm doing it.
I'm doing it.
And that's no commercial markup, but I'm just doing it. Because it's all a part of music and the experience and how we, you must share it. Playing out in the metro or outside in the mornings, you're saving lives. Your people and their mentalities, we need this. I need it.
Right. Well, don't you believe that your music keeps peace and calm in the metro? I've seen the metro. I've been on it.
Yeah.
And
even in New York, you need some more of that. But
a lot more. Well, the metro isn't conducive to making people calm. One of the billboards in the metro is a big rat. And it says, check this out. It says, "Are you going to eat that?" Remember that?
Yes, I remember that.
It's an advertisement to tell people not to leave their food in the metro, but a big rat in the metro, "Are you going to eat that?" Well, we made a big joke of that, but...
That was very funny. It's a very cool picture.
It really is a cool picture. But I don't think that it's conducive to making peaceful evenings or peaceful days.
Well,
it is what it is.
It is what it is.
And then you play your violin, and it makes everything even more peaceful, and that's a wonderful thing. So what are some of your favorite venues to play besides in the metro? What are some of your other favorite venues to play in DC? Where can people find you? If they're visiting the DC area and they can't find you in the metro, where can they find you?
It's all a balance because you can, music is everywhere. And there are wonderful, a lot of people, a lot of other talents. And so I try to collaborate with other talented people.
Yeah.
And so that takes me other places outside of my own little world.
What's the name of that little restaurant the wine place where we had your birthday party?
Yes, La Lavendure. That's a French restaurant.
Yeah, what street is that on?
That's on Connecticut Avenue.
Connecticut Avenue. That's a beautiful little place. Very intimate, very lovely.
Yeah.
Food is fabulous.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I'm in a venture right now where you have art galleries, or you have small places of art, and people are doing multimedia.
Okay. Yeah.
So you have the visual and you have
the music.
The music, and combining, and cuisine. The art of. I love to eat. We all, yes. Very good food.
Turkey's in the oven.
Thank you. And so, with that, and so people are very creative and collaborating. I'm working with it's called Art Is, and they have fashion shows. There are people designing furniture, designing things, and they all come in this space, and we provide the music. People showcase their talents.
Wow.
They're networking, and that's, part of the global or a culture of art.
That's awesome.
And so, I think that's how it happens, and that's the motivation.
Well, I think that we are very, very, very blessed to be able to have you here in our tiny little Connecticut-based studio.
I'm honored to be here.
It's awesome to have you with us. Will you play a song and do a little beatbox thing with my boy?
Yes.
That would be fun.
We put something together.
All right. Well, now we're going to introduce my son. This is my son Tommy, and he's going to do some beatboxing with Raycurt, and they're going to do a little Christmas song, I guess. I don't know. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be wonderful. And I hope you enjoy it. Merry Christmas.
I love you, Mom.
I love you too, baby.
Okay, I have a moment.
Do you have your mic on, Tom? Do you have a mic? Does he have a mic?
Just look here on the floor. Test one. Oh.
Wait there for you. You do better. Yeah, just drop it.
Test one.
Now, while he's warming up, just tell the audience a little bit about why I'm going to allow you to beatbox on my show. Tell a little bit about the contest that you won.
When I was around 15 or 16, I competed in a national beatboxing competition, actually local here. I don't know if it was in New London, I can't quite remember. Hartford, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess I'm a little rusty. I'm not quite 16 anymore, but
That's obvious. All right.
Go right ahead.
Have at it, guys. Yeah, well, I'm 103, so.
Yeah. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. Oh, when I was a seeker, I sought both day and night, and I asked the Lord to help me, and He taught me to pray. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ was born. I was a seeker. I prayed both day and night. I asked the Lord to help me, and He showed me the way. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hill and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born.
Woo-hoo-hoo!
Merry
Nicely done, gentlemen. Now, you have some songs to take us out with?
Oh,
We have about, how many more minutes do we have? About 15 more minutes?
Yep.
my
just-
goodness.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yes, that's true.
Okay.
So, Raycurt can be found at www.raycurt.com. You can find him on iTunes. You can find him on YouTube. You can find him everywhere. And this week, you can find him in New London.
Oh.
Because it's a good place to be.
Let's see. Happy holidays.
I have a request.
Oh.
I would like you to play some Vivaldi for me. Don't you have a Vivaldi thing that you do, medley thing? Yes.
Oh, somewhere there.
Yeah,
Let's see.
it's there. I'd love to hear that.
Well, it's in the dead of winter, so we'll do the last movement of spring.